In Vyapt Global Growth Series, we believe in a progressive and inclusive vision. Our faith in humanity has grown in this crisis, and we firmly believe that this crisis has made us stronger to face challenges of the future. As we see local and physical models, we see how quickly we have responded to changes across the globe. Our agility at work and in minds has shaped our future to be brighter, and today we believe in a more connected world. As various institutions strive hard for an appropriate vaccine, our world would be shaped by the decision whether vaccine would reach to the last mile of unaffordable nations. Their hope and our care will constitute the new world. In our growth series today, we have with us Dr. Sanjay Arora, who is the MD and founder of Suburban Diagnostics. Dr. Sanjay, with over 2.6 decades of experience, has been instrumental in his contribution. Welcome to Vyapt Global Growth Series, Dr. Sanjay.
Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's really an honor and a privilege to be with you today. Thank you so much.
Dr. Sanjay, we start with our first curiosity. So, test, track, and treat were fundamentals in the beginning of COVID-19, and we are aware of the devastation this virus has caused across the globes. So, we have seen loss of lives, loss of jobs, economies, increase in mental problems, etc. But can you talk about opportunities this crisis has created for diagnostic industry?
That's a great question, Pankaj. As you mentioned that I have been in the diagnostic industry for more than 26 years now, and I have never seen the kind of focus a particular situation has created on healthcare overall and in diagnostics in particular. And as you mentioned about, track, test, and treat, test is the integral part of this whole three T's. And the focus on diagnostics, has been the maximum at this point of time, and fortunately for the right reasons. As we know, I just want to bring that point that diagnostics accounts for over 70% of the medical decision-making process, and diagnostics accounts for less than 10% of the overall cost. So the impact of diagnostics is huge. The other point to note about diagnostics is that diagnostics spans the entire, health continuum of an individual, from screening, to prevention, to diagnostics, to risk stratification, to monitoring. Whereas therapeutics only looks at treatment, but diagnostics actually goes from one end of screening all the way till monitoring. And that is the impact that diagnostics has been able to create even in today's situation, where we look at first diagnosing the condition by the RT-PCR test, and then monitoring, by the antibody test. So we see the role diagnostics plays before treatment and after treatment as well. And today we are seeing that there is a, renewed focus on the health of an individual, on the health of the community, on the health of the country, and of the planet as such. And we have seen that in India, at least, there is a big gap between the public health space and the private health space. So I think the government also has realized that they need to improve the health infrastructure of the country. So I think that's a great outcome for all of us. Mm-hmm. The other big change that has happened is, we see the role of technology in healthcare today. Mm-hmm. I think we are seeing the role of technology in every aspect of what we do today, but I think everything has got accelerated, and more so in healthcare today. And we are trying to see how we can give better access, better standardization of healthcare services, and also, try and bridge this gap between urban and rural, where we find most of the healthcare services are in the urban area and most of the population is in the rural area. And we feel that, this technology acceleration will certainly bridge the gap there. For us personally, I've seen that, as an organization, we have been able to really fulfill our destiny and our purpose of being in this industry by having impacted over 500,000, over 5 lakh tests that we have conducted for COVID. And we feel that we have truly impacted the lives of 500 people. And our mission is to, impact health outcomes by reducing the healthcare burden of this country, what we call as unburden healthcare.
Mhm.
So I think these are some of the opportunities that I have seen over the last few months that this pandemic has actually allowed things to flourish for us.
So with a lot of opportunities which is coming in for diagnostic industry, I'm sure this is going to serve a lot of people, and this is be more of a prevention kind of a mechanism for the entire industry. And you talked about that it is only 10% of the cost, but it gives 70% of the kind of maybe in order to make any decision in any results or any treatment for
Right.
that matter for any disease. But when there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of optimist, you're so much optimistic about the kind of opportunity it has created. Can you also share about what are the growth prospect of this diagnostic industry, and what are the transformations, if any, required so that we can leverage the changing landscape?
So Pankaj, actually what happened is that over the last 8 months, the first 6 months was, completely taken over by COVID, the whole world. And initially, I would say in April, uh, our non-COVID work was practically down to 10% of what it used to be.
Uh-huh.
But what we have seen over the last few months is gradually, as the world has become more, I would say, accustomed to dealing with this situation, as the diagnostics has improved, as the healthcare services have improved, as the people's resilience has improved, as the government's ability to, counter this has improved, we have seen that we are seeing a tapering down of the COVID volumes, and we're also seeing non-COVID business coming back. So it used to be at 10%, like I said in May. It's almost up to 90% today of pre-COVID times, where the non-COVID volumes have actually started coming back. So I think we're seeing a fair amount of good mix between COVID and non-COVID now, and that is because the whole healthcare burden is shifting to what we call as non-communicable diseases or chronic diseases.
Uh-huh.
And before COVID, non-communicable diseases were 2/3 of the healthcare burden, and infectious diseases was only 1/3. Of course, COVID has completely tilted that scale, but that only has happened temporarily, I believe. And I believe that because of these chronic disorders, non-communicable diseases will eventually come back, as we are seeing today, and eventually take center stage. I think the biggest takeaway, the biggest opportunity that I see, Pankaj, is the opportunity in preventive healthcare. I think everybody has realized the importance of looking after yourself, looking after your community, looking after your family. I think that is, according to me, the biggest opportunity today, that there'll be an increased focus on preventive healthcare. We all know that, people in India are very reactive in their approach, that they only use healthcare when they fall ill. So we look at only the illness part, which is less than 10% of the population. But there is this 90% population which is well. So I think our endeavor, our focus is to see how do we help the wellness part remain well and not fall ill. So our endeavor is to encourage people that do a test, not when you fall ill, do a test not to fall ill. So I think that's the renewed approach that we have. And I believe that, as we spoke earlier, that technology will play a big role in this. I think the adoption of technology, I see so many of my doctor friends today having moved to teleconsultation, and they would have never thought of this in the past. And today we are approached as a diagnostic company by at least half a dozen telemedicine platforms who want to integrate with us. So I think that's where it's going to be. I think even the government of India has realized this with their national digital health mission of creating a unique identification for each individual to try and bring everybody onto a common platform. So I think technology is going to be a huge enabler, and the government also has realized that this is going to be, the way to bridge the gap. I also feel that, COVID will eventually become like a routine test, as we do HIV, hepatitis B, and hepatitis C pre-operatively. I think COVID will become part of what we call as universal precautions. But I definitely feel that antibody testing will see a spurt, especially when the vaccines come, as you spoke earlier, that once the efficacy of the vaccine is largely going to be determined by the antibody response that they produce. So I think antibody testing will definitely see a surge. But overall, I feel that, we will come to get used to the COVID as part of routine. and the non-COVID will eventually come back to where it was before.
So you see a lot of growth coming up in diagnostic industry, and our viewers are seeing your narrative that do a test not to fall ill. And I think this
Yes,
is going to shape the new world so that
absolutely.
people are more healthy and they are contributing to the workforce.
Yeah, so I'll just explain that in a different way. That every year on my birthday, I do a health checkup. And I do this in a way to promote my concept of preventive health care. That I said the best gift you can give yourself is the gift of good health.
True.
That's the way I feel, that we all feel that, let's have a party, let's get drunk, let's eat cakes. All that is great, but I think that's going against your health. But instead, if you do a health checkup on your birthday, there's no better way to gift yourself. You gift yourself good health. And I do that every year in a way to promote that, do a test so that you can remain healthy and not when you fall ill.
Your vision is truly seen in every statement you make.
Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you.
So my third curiosity comes from the first and the second curiosity itself. When you're so much optimistic about the opportunities at hand and the growth in diagnostic industry, I'm sure it should come up with some kind of job prospect. So what are the job prospect would this growth and opportunity create?
Again, a great question, Pankaj. As I mentioned earlier about the healthcare burden of our country, today there's a huge gap between demand and supply. We find that as the population is increasing, as the aging of the population, as the life expectancy goes up, as the middle class has more spending capacity, but at the same time, the healthcare infrastructure is not growing at that same pace. So we still have less than one doctor for every 1,000 people and less than one hospital bed for every 1,000 people. And we have a lot of gap in the skilling or the healthcare skilling aspects. And one way that we thought that we could take part in this is we started our own paramedical training institute with an idea that as we keep growing, we build a pipeline of trained paramedical, professionals. But what we realized, Pankaj, was that paramedical healthcare as a profession is not aspirational today. People do this, when nothing else is left. Then they think, okay, let's try and do this also. Can I become a nurse, or can I become an OT technician, or can I become a dialysis technician? Can I become a lab technician, etc.? Not realizing that for every doctor, you need 9 paramedical staff. And that's the gap that is there today. This whole concept of Ayushman Bharat that the country has started, the government of India started, will bear fruit only when we have skilling in healthcare. So I think there's huge opportunity, and I think platform like yours, who can evangelize, who can talk about the opportunities in healthcare today, will make healthcare more aspirational. And that's the opportunity that we seek, that there'll be a lot of focus on paramedical education, a lot of education, on the skilling, on healthcare skilling, as part of NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation, is seeing a lot of focus. I'll give you an example. A lab technician in our organization earns approximately 30,000 rupees a month. But because of the COVID situation, we have created a lot of incentive programs, because they're the ones who are going out and collecting samples. So we've had instances where a lab technician has earned over 2 lakh rupees per month only by way of incentives. And then the kind of heartwarming stories we get to see, that today I gifted my mother a new television. Today I gifted my brother a new motorbike. Now we are actually able to, fulfill the aspirations of people. And that's where we want to see that how do we build that momentum in the aspirations of the minds of young people. We also saw that, we needed to rapidly expand testing, because when we started, we were doing only 100 tests a day of COVID. We went to a high of 4,500 tests a day. So we needed to rapidly expand. So again, getting temporary staff from our paramedical training institute was again a big opportunity for us. So that all has fueled, the aspirations in the mind of youngsters. But allied to this, if you look at the opportunities in the healthcare space, whether it is healthcare analytics, whether it is healthcare IT, whether it is the whole space of digital marketing, even the healthcare management professionals today are in demand. So I think, as diagnostics and healthcare opportunities grow, the job opportunities will also continue to grow. In fact, we are one of the few industries that has not seen any downturn in the job market. In fact, we are seeing a lot more demand today. And we are happy to say that we've had full retention. More than 90% of our staff has been, contributing from day one. And they said, yes, we also want to make a difference. So when you connect people to a common purpose, everybody puts in their hand and says, yes, we can make a difference.
So Dr. Sanjay, you talked about that paramedics is going to be the center stage in health industry. And these people are going to be cherished as we talk about more wellness and as we talk about more precautionary measures to keep ourselves healthy. And that's a great sign for the number of jobs getting created by this diagnostic industry in future. And I'm sure our viewers would be very happy that we are moving towards the brighter side of the tunnel, and we will see great things in the future happening. My next question has to do with you as in person. People want to know from you that how has been your journey so far? What are some of the inspirations you carry? And a lot of our viewers know that you share a very special bond with your father, and at times, in occasions, you definitely post your pictures with your father on LinkedIn. So if you could share some of the narratives, some of the story,
Sure.
what have you got from the family, what have you got from the industry and other things which can be inspirational for our viewers?
Well, thank you, Pankaj. Again, I'll tell you, I am where I am purely because of my father. He's my mentor. He's my guide. He's my go-to person. He's the wisest man that I've ever known in my life, and he continues to drive me, motivate me, support me, guide me, and inspire me. He's a young man at 85, and he did his PhD at the age of 82 when we wanted to start a paramedical training institute, and that was his thesis subject. And at the age of 80, he started his PhD because he wanted to start this whole concept of paramedical education. So I think, my father is truly my inspiration and my go-to person. And as I call, the wind beneath my wings, I am where I am flying because of the wind that he provides beneath my wings. So thank you for acknowledging that. I really appreciate that. I think as an organization, I'm a trained healthcare professional, and leadership is something which you learn on the job, so to say. So, some of the leadership lessons that I have learned and I continue to learn is that one aspect of a leader is, to make a positive impact. I think many times we find leaders who want to just impose themselves by proving that they are right. I think that's not really the role of a leader. I've realized that the role of a leader is not to prove that you're right, but the role of the leader is to make sure that you create a positive impact. And that is one message that I would like to share with everybody, that if you are a leader, make sure that your only measure of success is that are you able to create a positive impact in the people around you. I think it's very important that we first realize the opportunity that is there and then communicate that opportunity or that vision with your team. So I think strong leadership, has to be connected to a purpose, and that purpose has to then be communicated to your team members. I also believe, leading by example, Pankaj, that, you have to lead by example. So when things are going well, you let the team, bask in that glory. When things are tough, as happened last few months, you stand up and you work shoulder to shoulder with your team. And what we saw in our organization is all the senior leadership people, what we call as all hands on deck, right there at the front with the team members. And that really motivated our team to put their best foot forward. And we also believed in this whole concept of agility in decision making, of inclusive leadership. So we had this war room concept where we had all senior leadership, team members on a Zoom call, taking decisions inclusively in a way, and that we gave them that ability to, be part of the decision making process. So if you build that level of trust in your team, trust leads to empowerment leads to commitment, and commitment eventually leads to results. And that's the fundamental that we are trying to do, is build trust in your people. I've always believed that if you take care of your people will take care of your customers, the crisis, as well as the opportunity. So a lot of my time goes mainly in taking care of my team members, and so that, you know, they take care of everything else for you, because you can't do everything on your own. So it's very important that you display resilience. You know, you be there with the people when they need you the most. Very important that you celebrate the successes when they are there. You know, it's important to people feel that yes, they are part of something good. Build trust, but last but not least, connect the team to a vision and to a purpose. If you can connect your team to a vision and a purpose, and the team feels that they are truly being involved in something bigger, you know, everybody will contribute.
So here was Dr. Sanjay talking about that the larger purpose is very important in our lives, and people are at the center of any business. You talk about internal customers or external customers. They build your business and
Absolutely.
take your business to the next level. Thank you, Dr. Sanjay, for your mind and heart talks. It was great interacting with you in Vyapta Global Growth Series.
Thank you again, Pankaj, and wish you all the best. You guys are doing a great job, and you know, my best wishes for continued success.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjay.